I wanted to give you a quick overview of how to use the amortization table from bankrate.com that is linked in our Moodle. So let me go ahead and show you how to get to that. So once we are in the Open Moodle class, then we just need to again scroll down to Unit 3. And it is under the links for financial calculations. And it's the last link there, the Amortization Table Calculator. And if you just click that, it opens up the site in a pop-up box, which you probably want to maximize just to make sure you can see everything. So here's the part where you'll be filling in the individual amounts. So you can put in the mortgage amount. Remember, this would be the amount after you've deducted any down payment that you need to make. This is the amount that you actually borrow for the house, not necessarily the selling price. So let's put in $150,000 mortgage. Here's where you can choose the term in either years or months. Remember that basically for a mortgage, you pay it each month. So the number of months would also be the number of payments, and that can be useful in other types of applications. But in this case, let's make it a 20-year mortgage. And we'll put in a 3.25% interest rate. And these are all the entries that you need to make for a basic monthly payment calculation. If you just click calculate, it will tell you what the monthly mortgage payment is. It also shows you how much the principal is, which should be the amount that you borrowed. It also shows you how much interest you will pay over that time period. These interest calculations may be a little different than what ends up getting shown in MyLabs, because number one, MyLabs usually rounds it off to the nearest dollar. So they would say $851. And it just simply makes a more precise calculation in here. In most cases, MyLabs is asking for you to round it off to the nearest dollar, and they should match up to that point. But just be aware that there may be a slight difference when you're using this calculator. Now, the amortization table shows you how much of each payment goes to principal. In other words, how much pays down the $150,000 and how much goes to interest that's accumulated in the last month. That ends up totaling the $54,000 here. So if you click this link right here, right underneath where it says today's rates, show amortization schedule, that opens up additional portion of the page that shows you that, for example, the very first payment of $850.79 pays $406.25 in interest and $444.54 in principal. And so you're paying down only that much of the principal with an $850 payment. And then it shows your running balance, and it scrolls down and it shows you that for, in this case, all 240 payments, until eventually 20 years from now, when you make your final payment in March of 2041, you're still paying $850.79. But notice that $848.50 of that goes to pay down the principal, and only $2.30 goes toward the interest. And so what happens is, as you pay back more and more of the loan, the interest is being calculated on smaller and smaller amounts. And so eventually the payment becomes almost all principal with very little interest. Now, the real advantage of having the amortization table is that it can show you the effect of making extra payments on your mortgage. Now, you might ask, why would you want to make extra payments? But if you make extra payments, it doesn't go toward the interest, it goes toward the principal. And since you're paying down that principal faster, you actually end up paying less interest. You can find the effects of that in this calculator by clicking the Add Extra Payments button or link. And it opens up an additional piece of information here. You can add a certain amount to every one of your 240 or however many mortgage payments there are. You can add in a yearly payment, which you might make in which month so you would do that each year in that particular month. Or you can also just put in a one-time lump sum payment in a particular month at some point in the loan payment process. I wanted to give you an example of what even paying just a little bit extra on your mortgage each month can do for you. So we had here what was about an $850 mortgage payment. So let's say we just put an extra $25 on there. So each month we're going to pay $875. So we just put the 25 in there. We'll leave the other two at zero, and we'll just click the apply extra payments button. One thing I want you to watch is what happens right here with the estimated payoff date, which is, of course, based on today, but March 9th, 2041. So we'll click extra payments. Notice it's now getting paid off about 6 months, 8 months sooner, June 9th, 2040, instead of May 9th, 2041. Not only that, notice we're also only paying $51,000 in interest instead of $54,000 in interest. So just by paying that extra $25 a month, we pay off the loan almost a half a year sooner, and we pay about $3,000 less in interest. And any one of these payments that you make is going to have that interest go down and the payoff be sooner. The more that you pay off early, the quicker you pay off the loan, and therefore the less interest you will be paying. So I hope that helps you answer some of the questions concerning the use of the amortization table calculator.